Page 12, that is still on chapter 1. Moses had developed the pot-bellied boy because of taking much more of the potatoes, the mabonis. He accumulated much more of one single carbohydrate nutrient than any other nutrients in the blood system, ending up with a balanced and balanced diet. Just like all the other boys in the village, we used to eat and bulge with the abnormal foodstuffs. We could eat and eat as if tomorrow will never come. Our meals were more of a carbohydrate than a balanced diet. Therefore, we developed kwashiorkor, contrary to the malnourished children in the neighborhood who required some animal marasma tablet. But I entrusted him with our flock while I took up the task at hand. Whenever Naliaka came over to the grazing land and possessed me with her warmth, that was my good time with Naliaka. However, Moses, being a bow-legged boy of a ricket kind of stuff, he had more stamina to defend, therefore to defend in our goals. Now, friendly matches in the Kewa, that is the river plains, that is in every evening as we took care of our cattle, we could play the football in the field. We found that Moses was best to be in the goalkeeper. Mkali wao, we nicknamed him after he had proved himself beyond any reasonable doubt that he was tough and equal to the task. He would block unwelcome visitors into our goal nets. A boy talented to stop and defend our goals. Liliaka always made her way to our grassland land. She pulled me off the pitch, holding my hand, and directed me to some place of privacy. A long couch grass became our beddings, and the long papyrus reeds that gave us some privacy for the two naked, perspiring bodies. She was such a crazy lady with a strong desire for sex, like that of a smoking boy who had missed a puff and craving for a puff. She also came and became mad at all the time she wanted something from me. One particular thing, that which other boys, especially the weak boys, had not managed to give her at a appointed time. Especially when she was in desperate need, she could not give me time to breathe or even position myself well for a strong, friendly match. She opened her eyes and mouth to greet me after she had received her first round. With a sigh of relief and a droplet of water streamed down her throat, she has quenched her thirst for a body that had been perturbed. Therefore, she made her greetings. She was the kind of a lady who would not miss. In fact, she wanted it on a daily basis. A warm-blooded animal with a hot biological system, very energetic and with a good appetite, such that she was always demanded for 3 rounds just in case time gave us to keep going. Otherwise, she was a strong lady to take me through all the night without even asking for assistance, and maybe even demand for a break to relax. But as for me, I was a strong man too. I had enough bullets to fire whenever the nature demanded. I would voluntarily offer to the request demand, but with absolute necessity. My hands were warm to keep her burn and asking for some more. Of course, I was a clever boy too, because I saved enough and released only when emergency demanded. And when she was in desperate need, that's when I also released. I wanted her to be the best friend, so I gave her when she was in desperate need. I became a friend indeed. Not only when she practiced fornication and the lust of flesh that I offered my friendship, but also in the moments of her difficulties. She had troubles in arithmetic in class, and thus I offered to tutor her in her place of confidentiality. Though she paid very little attention to my lessons, in her mind she had something more serious to be observed. Having noted that, I advised her a lot on matters of life, because she was young, immature, and immature, more so ignorant of life beyond. Like all the other women in the village, they never thought beyond their nose. She was after the pleasure to her disturbing adolescent stage, with the blood circulating that broke the walls of her blood veins, and therefore she could not think and mind of or consider of her future. She was myopia to her destiny, short-sighted to her eventual ultimate goals. Just after having her sex certification, she was fine and comfortable. That was her life and the world she formed for herself. And all the other women in the village, that is the world they had formed in their mind. What mattered to them was a little massage for the day, and the remaining burdens were cast under the cross. Jesus Christ took and observed and cared for their heavy laden. As God cared for their problems and the future, none of them bothered to equip and be prepared for the challenges ahead. Those are the days we had changes coming across. The days academic will be but a priority for everything in the life. In need of a job, in need of a marriage, in need of business. So many things will be of academic essential. I read her mind and understood her very well. That's why I took upon myself to salvage her from the dark, ignorant world. I demanded her to come to school. Otherwise, I will also sarcastically pretend to deny her treasure, that which she had valued so much. I would refuse to appear for the evening appointment. Those were days when education did not matter to anything to a women. They were certified in their own class as kitchen managers. That is, they were the engineers in the hot boiling pots in a smoky hut. They perfected well to stir things in the pot, and also with some natural skills to sire and bring up kids, perhaps with some tips to entertain their husband in bed. It became perfect. They became perfect. For a woman to be perfect, that is their skill they had to acquire. No woman had the audacity to raise her voice ahead and speak of equal rights as men. After all, women will leave their parents and move their man's house to her new boma. She will occupy all that all that her man possessed. If not to share with her co-wife, then everything will become unto her command. All the wealth, all the number of kettles, the vast land, the fame and prestige, and anything attached to her man automatically became part and parcel of her share, or she becomes the shareholder. She do not need to struggle to bring about good fortune, only but good ability to manufacture children for her husband and increase the society, perhaps with some creativity in the bed. That was the basic requirement of a woman in the village, and thus the basic education that was offered at all times for the girls in the village. Many of such girls will not think of something else. They had nothing more to dream about and stay abreast with the changing times. After observing their daily home routine and daily home duties, they lived on and days went by. Those were our days. Laleka had also grown big and she could occasionally come to school to attend her lessons. I was slightly older to her in terms of age. I beat her also in physique and mental, with some large, considerable muscles and limbs with gigantic physique. I was quite oversized to her, to the small, rounded woman. I had better intelligence quotient as compared to her small-sized mental capacity. She managed to outwit me with her cute face and a round, well-molded figure. Wrinkles in her neck made an indication of a possible growth to fatten and widen more to her small-sized hips. Her nice talk with a sweet melodious voice attracted all boys to stay glued as though the force of gravity emanated from her looks. But one thing stood out to make her peculiar woman, one thing that made her an iron lady. She was such a proud lady to be laid on by any man. Many had tried but failed. The likes of Moses would not hesitate to seduce any woman before her. His efforts were rendered useless after being dismissed and won over again and again.